I see the light in you, which sometimes is the light we don't see in ourselves, which has me here tonight. So I thank all of you. I was born into a very abusive and oppressive home. My father was at one time a collector for the Detroit Black Mafia, and my mother was a school teacher. Well, my mother used to have some of her students babysit us. And unknowingly, it was at that time that my mother introduced me to my first rapist. I was afraid to tell my parents because I knew that any sort of weakness or I remember crying as a 3 year old. My dad was like, men don't cry. Men don't show weakness. Men don't show pain. So I suffered through that. For a number of years, the summer between seventh and eighth grade, I was attacked by a young man in my neighborhood who raped me in this field that we would walk through, which ironically, as I got away, that's really the first time that I knew I had really good athletic ability because I was running so fast away from him that I ran past my own house. I was blessed to be recruited by the University of Michigan. Fast forward, once I got on campus, there was a doctor that was giving members of the athletic program unnecessary prostate and testicular cancer screening exams. And so by the time I was 21 years of age, I had been raped over 100 times in my life, but 50 times at the hands of this doctor. I was forbidden to ever see my childhood pediatrician once I stepped on campus. Whether you had a turf burn, strep throat, whatever, all the exams ended with a prostate cancer screening exam, testicular cancer screening exam. March 26th of 2020, we're in the middle of COVID. My best friend and teammate sends me an email just telling me about what has come out, that these exams that we're getting and how they were essentially digital rape. And for the first time in my life, I started having panic attacks because I couldn't understand, one, why a doctor would ever do a cancer screening exam that wasn't necessary on an 18-year-old boy, but what he was really doing was digitally raping me and so many of our teammates. But also, how could an institution, the institution that I loved, let this happen? I wanted to tell my story. So I used some of my contacts through the NFL and just being in sports and entertainment for the last 30 years. And I did an article in ESPN and Undefeated, and that created, I would say, the seed that was planted that became my life of an advocate because of a conversation that I had with my mother 30 years ago, in which she told me about one of my great great grandmothers who led slaves to the Underground Railroad. As a 21-year-old, she said to me, one day you're going to be faced with something that's larger than you, and you will stand. And I drew back on that conversation in what was a very, very dark time. I just want to say that, healing is a lifetime journey. Some days you don't want to get up. Some days you get up and take a step. Always try to find the source of light. Find that person that either believes in you, listens to you, cares for you, and just point yourself toward the light. I hear you. I'm with you. And I will always be fighting on the front line in solidarity to eradicate sexual assault, sexual violence um, to the four corners of the earth. Thank you.